ladies and gentlemen, for this opportunity to present a very fashionable and traditional subject. But I'm afraid, since my classmates and all the professors here, I still have not trained myself for the presentation well. Number one thing is also mentioned after all the talk in Harvard and Oxford, I can still not get over my habit to speak two languages simultaneously. That's called a Chinglish. Pardon me for my Chinglish. Okay. As we all know, this subject we focus on the tweet of Trump, of course become a phenomenon of the black horse, won the most powerful office in USA. Stop fighting. 不战而屈人之兵，是善之善者，是 top virtue. And by talking about the art of Sun Tzu, the art of war, I think it's very fit for our location with our Confucius College Institute here in Ireland, because I think the two Zi, Hongzi, Sunzi, they were living in a similar time period, about 2,500 years ago. And the one most popular used in Western world, whether it's in military school or commerce, business school, is this translation. Since we dig into it a little bit too much, I find an interesting explanation textbook about art of war in Chinese is based for many translations in English language. So just a piece of, we used to be translating anything site where there's copy, including the Bible, it's international Bible, which version. Talking about the last name Sun, there is one very popular in the Chinese political and cultural figure. We call it the father of modern China, who overthrew the last emperor in China. And amazingly, not only he applied the art of war for fighting the Xinhai Geming, fighting the last emperor, the regime, but also he applied a new style of diplomatic skill and for the international economic relations. There's a lot of 80s, late 80s. My first job was start in Vancouver, Canada, for one of the largest pharmaceutical companies. I was in charge of joint venture with China. Then next year, promoted as vice president in charge of our Asian operation. For the pharmaceutical, we did very well. But that's exactly 1987 when this book came out. I read it so passionately, every detail, how he made his millions of dollars through the negotiation arts. He has a niche in every negotiation when he entered. How to control the negotiation, how to know what the other side want, 知己知彼. So that book became a kind of a business Bible for young investors going into the business, how to deal with whether it's a casino investment project or it's buying a used airplane. But the next one, we can see it's just for fun, I made it up. It's from his, it's very unexpected, the result. When I was joining the campaign, one of my friends is his campaign chair. So I told him, I'm a Canadian citizen, I cannot vote, so don't worry about manipulating the campaign result or election result. I'm just an observer, scientific researcher. So I went both Republican National Convention in Cleveland, and I was fortunate to get invited to Philadelphia. But at that time, I remember it's in just a little story joke. In September or so, when I visited my friend, who's a former deputy minister in Canada, Ursula Baker is a good friend of China. we did a lot of public service work in China. We set up in Sanyang, in Hainan, Sino-Canadian Management Institute, which has trained both Canadian federal officials and Chinese. Has a long history. I guess any public office holder, they all deal with some type of media interaction. Sometimes it's positive, get promoted by media, sometimes misquoted, or recently the new word is fake news. We're all scared about that. And according to Nixon, proved they won that media war. That's why during that time, famous remarks by the former President Nixon is saying you can never win the media war. And it's very familiar in the close geography area. Tony Blair, he and I were both joined a couple of times in Beijing, the Beijing Forum. There's a Blair Foundation promoting exchange between British and the Chinese culture and economic ties. But in that book, he is also in the front stated about the media sector. However, with the famous quote say, the only sector not under public scrutiny, challenge the mainstream media. But not according to this subject we're talking about. Trump, he is the first one probably, has the gut, even during the campaign election time, he's calling the media the enemy of America, not enemy of Sun Tzu Bing Fa. You try to get more ally. You don't try to offend everybody and get defeated. That's against common sense or against political correctness. We'll study what's the logic behind that. Okay, for political marketing, this is interesting. We all talk about political marketing for campaign election, but actually political marketing goes far beyond the election time. Even into White House today, he's still tweeting, sometimes in 1 o'clock in the morning, or 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock in early morning, he still tweet from the White House. So in this different comparison with the war to win consumer, this is a political marketing. It has the similarity. It's just the substitute, the product. If anybody study marketing, it's a study of the science for the process of any commercial exchanges, any exchange for non-profit also. So here the process is political exchange, where the voter have their vote or their poll, their support for a candidate. That's their cash, political value, to exchange it for promise for future service. When the president elected, would he increase the job to grow our economy? Would he protect the country to increase the security? So the buyer here is voter. Competitor is, interestingly, it's competitor here we put as mainstream media, as Trump put here, because this kind of a case study we focus on Trump, what he do. Normally people would not say the media is the enemy and what meantime needs to promote for campaign election. We'll see how things turn around. And the votes is kind of also the end of the voting behavior, the end product of the marketing process. Negotiation power, we've studied in this case, is kind of a monopoly position in the market for the Trump brand. Nobody else can control Trump's tweet except himself. And he knows when to write, how he write, what kind of message he wants to send. Only he can control. So that creates a monopoly position for the Trump brand. Or the profit, of course, is public interest. We know his slogan, "Making America Great Again." It's national interest, much bigger than what his first book about the art of deal. So with this introduction, we try to see what kind of definition and political marketing, I guess, is largely used in Europe. There's associations for political consultants. They have academic research, have annual conferences on the subject of political marketing. For instance, I know the years past, the first time in China's textbook, mainland China, Taiwan has many other translations or written by the subject of political marketing. In mainland, this is the first time defined by in general marketing textbook published by Tsinghua University. And in that 18th chapter, it was first time defined. And then, continually, we have two books come out, co-authored by Fudan University Professor Zhao Kejing, and in Beijing University published it. The first time in the world, subject of international political marketing was formally written in the textbook, or formally published this definition of the concept. That's me and Zhao Kejing again, published by Peking University. Basically, at that time, it's my first time divide this subject of political marketing into three categories. Usually, in U.S. or American or Europeans, I did study my PhD in marketing, but the subject at that time, global marketing or international marketing in the 1980s, is so new. Not much people talking about. Today, any business school you go to find, they always have a subject on international marketing or global marketing. I think this is the same division. For scientific study, if you want to focus on the cross-border and cross-culture study about political marketing, you need a specialized study on the international political marketing. So based on those, that I think this is my creation about continuing my great-great-great-grandfather, okay, if I can say so, son also happened to be Sun Zi Shuofa. It's kind of extended from the art of war to today's life. People not talk about competing all the time in the battlefield. They competed for sports. They're competing for cultural exchange, for social exchange, for political exchange. This kind of compete is also need strategy, tactics, which is the law of persuasion, or in Chinese, 说服的法则, how to persuade. Actually, what's the end result of persuade? It's making the exchange happen, whether social exchange or political exchange or commercial exchange. So that the mean is the art of media war, persuasion, but the result is still the same, to reach exchange. Voting behavior and political marketing. This voting behavior become a public domain, very popular research based on some behavior science, psychology, how people make their choice. And we can see in consumer behavior, that's the traditional study, how I would prefer Apple brand or some other European brand, how they make a choice, how the companies, manufacturers. In 2007, a case study published by Journal of Public Affairs. This is the first time in the world I categorized into this international market area. I still think in the future, including our ambassador and his students, all come from international relations study. They will need some vehicle for promotion of their ideas, and also even in campaign election, how to sell the image of the candidate, how to sell his political ideas. this is the tradition of how you get started political marketing or study. I think there's an Irish name also, Stan Cannon, very popular here. So this is just kind of a trace here. Many of the culture come back here. His book of Professional Public Relations and Political Power is published in 1956, considered about the first time people systematically study how to campaign, how to get elected for public exchange. So we all talk about how you can package product. I can package my cup of water, looks like on the table, looks like the brand name is already very well promoted. However, you can also package your political image, or package your political idea or policy ideas. And it looks like before go to the TVs or talk, he's always needs makeup. Here, it's naked. I don't think that they made any makeup during the convention, Republic convention. He's from New Jersey, so my two sons were born in New Jersey. He's my governor also. So the second part of political marketing is talking after election, whether you are mayor or governor or president of the state. Once you get elected, people talk about permanent campaign. That's the big Bruce Newman, probably is one of the most well-known political marketing professors in the world. He is the chief editor of the Journal of Political Marketing, which is published mainly in the U.S. But he also has an affiliation in Europe, in UK, for the same group of the political marketing study academies. And for government type side, for a typical example, this most debated area is about health care reform. We know currently Obamacare is being debated, so hot topic there. But even before that, when Obama made his 2008 election the first time, health care reform is already in his top agenda. The people mostly want to know how to solve this situation. However, even for the second part, when he got elected in the office, not even the first term, during the second term, still he did a lot of work to create about the universal health care insurance for every people in America, including those poor. But sadly, this is sadly, Obama himself talking in the private meeting saying, we did the work, but we did not do enough marketing for our work. That's how important the political marketing is. Still, if you get elected in the government, you still need to continue communicate with your voters, how to make them understand what you are doing for them. Otherwise, they are trying to cover all the poor, and the poor is against them. That's that. So obviously, you didn't study any political. So international political marketing, that's even more and more applied in these days. The definition basically is to establish, maintain, and enhance long-term relationships among peoples, nations, interest groups, and international organizations. So the bottom line is, so the objectives of individual political actors and organizations are met. He's going to practice international political marketing exchange with Ireland. So by mutual exchange and fulfill the promise through marketing strategy and make the kind of international political exchange happen, that's the goal of this national study. So we're talking about the voting behavior. It can be happening in the before election, after election. You still need public support for public support. That's your political cash, your political value, and all this how to start with marketing, political marketing strategy and tactics to affect to the people's effect, how the attribute and people's cognition, understand your policy, and the environment where your promotion is situated, how to influence finally the behavior of your citizens. So back to the behavior science, we all heard this Pavlovian model. His study is very interesting. Put some meat powder, and the bell together. Every time you give a dog the meat powder, dog can smell. And meantime, you ring the bell, and keep on repeating this called learning and conditioning process, psychological process. And even the dog learned whenever he heard the bell, there might be some treat. So the experiment the next time is just ring the bell without the meat powder. The dog also have lots of slobs come out. That's the model, conditional learning. And the same principle can be used for political marketing. How to influence behavior. For instance, Trump, through his tweet, he tweeted 34,000 times since the first one in 2009. That's May 4th. The reason I remember this date is all the Chinese youth, you probably have a holiday, May 4th. That's the day he first time tweeted. And that's about promoting our Donald Trump show at Dave Letterman's TV program. He first tried this tweet to promote his TV program, TV show. And from that, it's an interesting combination. He's already a top expert how to play with the traditional media, including TV, written publications. But this first tweet actually is using 140 symbols, limited, maybe 20, 30 words, long, short, averaging. That's short message, how to play against the traditional media. This time, he's still trying to use the traditional media. And the recent figure shows he has about 26 million followers. That's his official tweet station picture. But he also used some other social medias to get followers. So altogether, he learned how to use this new media to play media war against the tradition. That's the image people get from all his tweets, his speeches, his debate ideas, public campaign rallies. He wants people to have some image about himself. What type of image? So this is what we talk about how he would, during even the campaign, to challenge someone like CNN or NBC or Time. This is kind of a candidate's best island. They always loved the media. But on the contrary, he played against them. Why? Once I was told, at the beginning, when there's 16 candidates, we talk about the media war. When they have 16 candidates, and Trump was the one who has no political office experience, it's like a black horse, come out, hitting everybody hard, including Jeb Bush. At that time, you think Jeb Bush probably is the leading most possible candidate. But he hit all of them very hard and make himself a kind of an image, say, I can say anything, politically correct or not, I don't care. Or even common sense doesn't make sense, I still say. Why? He wants to build a certain image for himself. Let the people see what kind of person, what he will be. It's all surrounding the image. But we talk about the campaign election, how kind of fight even people in the 2008 campaign. We can see Hillary and Obama situation. That's in the primary debate, and two look like already fighting to hate each other. So there's some media, the political consultants, we all work on how to solve this problem after the crisis. You have to unite again. So David Clark has his famous book about audacity to win. Wrote his whole experience, how to help unknown junior senator, black senator with a funny name, let's call it funny name, Hussein Obama, how to win the US presidency. That's how the media is. The famous Chinese poem says, once you pass a certain time, you're friend again. And by the way, talking about Confucius culture, in the Asian culture, this is very hard to do. People tend to have a longer memory about what happened in history. So back to the 16 candidates. Trump probably has the public media most to say, all during all the interview or campaign or debate. He's always the one who looks like nothing to stop his mouth. He can say anything more. But others, like Ted Cruz or even Hillary Clinton, will have to follow what they say. If they said something wrong, next day they have to apologize. For instance, the famous New Yorker's value said by Ted Cruz. The next day, for New York publication, news, the national news, everything is criticized him about challenging New Yorker's value. He actually come out, apologized. And Hillary said by mistake or whatever, said your Trump supporter, they are all deplorable. It's kind of remarks. She has to apologize next day. But as Trump, she can claim anything against the whole entire women's voter section. Say, look at the face. Basically, she's attacking her. That face is not qualified for presidential run, as a remark. But he never has to apologize. Just come to the personal attack, but the shorthand famous talk. And during the campaign election time, he actually has 60. There's an archive of all his tweets. Very easy to access. So Donald Trump archive, tweet archive. You can actually see how many keywords you search. You find that the 66 times he's mentioning bombshell or bomb, enemy, including putting enemy as Hillary Clinton is the enemy, China is the enemy, Obama is the enemy. Very few cases in the history candidate would call the current president enemy, or even his same party comrade, Marco Rubio, is the enemy. So this is seeming all randomly called names, but from the study of media war, we can see it has a reason. It's not random. It has a purpose behind it. So from 2013, he basically tweeted 54 times against Jeb Bush. Why? At that time, everybody think Jeb Bush got the political influence and he can raise the most money. He's the most hopeful for Republican. And that time, as a rule, we can predict each time the incumbent party, when you have 8 years Obama presidency, people get tired of not seeing enough change. He promised the change in 2008. Then we didn't see much change. So it's a trend after 8 years Democrats White House. It should be now the turn to Republican. So the saying at the beginning is whoever won the national nomination for Republican Party would be the next president. At least at that time, it's the general thinking. And Trump actually took 180-degree turn on Ted Cruz when he started with friendly, as talked last tweet. If you look at the tweet, his friend, he said this excellent Senate, he's doing good job. Until when Ted Cruz became his rival, or main rival, the last day, he becomes so nasty, he will fight on the personal level. That's his slogan. If you said something, attacked me, I will attack 10 times harder return. That's exactly what happened during this personal attack, even including Ted Cruz's father, his wife, everybody also was attacked. So this is basically some of the example of Trump's tweet about Jeb Bush. Actually, I think that the most one had some determined influence is when he's accused Jeb Bush is weak, his lack of energy. How could we have a leadership like this? So during the campaign time, he really played the tweet, used that as a control of his Trump brand, let the mainstream media to amplify his message. He wants to know when to turn on, when to turn off, what message he wants to send through all this public speech or including his early morning tweet. So this is kind of put into the model of voting behavior, how they influence the election on voters' effect, and also cognition, environment. So according to this, how people use, it's interesting to see in U.S. There's always people hating with all the remarks come out. This is the example how they quote all the contradictory quotes into a little book. Like we are familiar with the Chairman Mao's quotation, the Chairman Trump's quotation. And inside, of course, there's 3 times of how to use this quote about defense and victory from Sun Tzu. And how to play the media war. It also through the same process. Like every fighter, they know how to fight with foes and try to get more friends to help. At the beginning, it's very positive with CNN. And then find out CNN is kind of traditional, more on the left side. He knew that, but he still tried to play to attract the ally. Back to the, after his announcement of the president candidacy, basically this several events turned the wind around. Suddenly, this potential ally become an enemy. He quotes many times like 425 times on CNN alone. 700, almost 800 times quote about his enemy, crooked Hillary, corrupted Hillary. All this is showing how he used tweet to affect the main school. We all know this guy, Jay Tapper. Almost every time he has a chance with Trump or talk about the subject of elections, always is negative. We seldom have anything good to say about Trump's candidate. This obvious is also another Trump basher. She's very famous on the site when she gets a first-hand interview with different candidates. But Trump also knows how to get his ally. Fox News is always on his candidate. If you really watch both clearly, of course, traditionally it's more Fox is on the right side with time. So how would this start with turning to a potential ally to be a foe? It started with this. When Trump tweeted saying, in the debate, I helped you for your rating increased 4,000% from 5,000 to 200,000. You should do something for me. It's like business plan. Get used to negotiate what he wants. Nothing too small. He immediately, because the rating changed, immediately wrote a letter to Jeff, the president of CNN. Zucker used to be knowing him well, and they have many occasions from NBC or to work together. So he thinks he called him an old friend and say he can support, use some of the money supporting the veteran. Or he didn't even directly say supporting my campaign. It's supporting the retired soldiers, the heroes of the country. But obvious he didn't get any possible response there. Instead, the media still goes into the way to the left, support Democrats strongly. And at one time, during a speech in Harvard, Jeff Zucker realized during the primary campaign, they were tricked. They were tricked by Trump's tweet. They were tricked by Trump's speech and debate talking point. Basically, Trump wants to create that kind of controversy to let the mainstream media promote his image as a direct shooter. A famous quote at that time from Trump, he said, any news is good news. He doesn't care if it's negative, it's positive. He just wants to be popular, get people to vote, think his image is straightforward. Whatever I say, I want to make America great again. His political point is either job, growing economy, or safety, security for the country. That's famous from his day one announcement of his candidacy. He said he want to build a wall. He want to exit those Mexico rapists. That's kind of bombshell. Whoever would announce candidacy day one, same time, to pull away a huge number of population that's Mexican language speaker in America. That's the second largest language speaker spoken in the U.S. So it's all seemingly controversial, but actually he has a huge plan. So in the tweet against Hillary, you can see how furious the two, even including at the latest stage, this during the presidential debate, is remarks about women, so-called locker room talk, was used by Hillary as a talking point. But he's prepared, always like a businessman. When he entered that debate, he has invited a whole group of ladies who were accusing former President Bill Clinton, sitting right by the debate circle. And that moment I see that debate, really the person who feels most awkward is two persons. One is Bill Clinton himself, sitting there, cannot say anything, he's attacking about his behavior. And the other is Chelsea, sitting with his father, while trying to help mom, but cannot say anything. This is back to the model of how to analyze the, so polls and job rewards. That's part of his campaign ideas. He needed the poor, he needed the principal cash. So job is kind of image he wanted to create. Why he would not, he would challenge China so much from day one. He's talking about the trade war. He's talking about China's currency manipulation. China took our job. He's challenging China on the trade war. That's closely related to his campaign strategy. It's the image of I'm the greatest job creator under God. He's trying to put the two things into voters' mind. Two things voters concern most is job, economic growth, and security. His war, building the wall, even it's negative, but he still wants to promote that idea. He's a war builder. He keeps Americans safe. So, how to influence the voters is detailed analysis. Because time we don't go so much. And this election come out. Many people say, "Oh, Trump, he really doesn't know what he's doing. Even himself thinks he's going to lose." Actually, it is phenomenal. You can see at the last month of the debate, or the last month before the voting day, he's still talking about this election is rigged election, and this election will be a laughing stock for the world. And when he was asked 3 times by my friend Jay Tapper saying, "Do you accept the result, election result or not?" Right during the debate stage, he refused to answer. We'll wait and see. That's kind of against all political wisdom, against even the Constitution of the U.S. Election result, of course you will recognize. And as a candidate, you are breaking all the agreements, even within your party. I won't accept it. I didn't say I accept it. Why he would do this? Again, create an image, how to influence those voters, maybe cross even party line. We all think there's a personal image already. How voters will speak. One on the other side is crooked, corrupted, Clinton. On this side is someone who is political uncorrect. He's totally changed the Washington status quo, changed the political image. Who would say this new image, at least he run the business empire successfully. He can say what he really means, not lying Clinton or lying Ted. So this image plus his strong policy, just 2 ideas, job security, make lots of voters at the end turn around to support him. Of course, there's other factors, including the electoral college, how Clinton's mistake not going to Wisconsin, Michigan, all together make this happen. But if we study about the behind-the-scene principles, what about the media war principles, strategies, we can see it makes sense. So this actually summary explanation about how we run the, just as I mentioned, how we won this election. To many surprises on the election, just 1 week before election day, Hillary Clinton and all the camp. That's why some of the mistake also make is they believe we win. What's their stage rally is all changed to one slogan. You can see clearly change from fighting with the Republican to the final stage. You say we need to unify, we need to unite as one form to go ahead. Kind of to say we are winning, right? We want to unify the country, look ahead, go forward. So the famous, once after elected into the White House, people would think now Trump would be acting more presidential, less offending people. Not so. Day one, he's putting out a tweet about the fake news, the CNN, even named the NBC, Times, New York Times. They're all fake news. They're enemies not only for me, for America. And this, again, is kind of surprise to the traditional political correctness thought about you should behave different once you get elected. You should reach out to the other side to unite, to keep your promise, make the government work. Cross the line. So, according to the famous scholar Joseph Nye, who created the concept of soft power, smart power, monopoly is kind of you have control the situation with hard power, right? Monopoly, state with state-owned communication. We can see the media war have different situations. Maybe U.S. this time we will all talk about we have Constitution guaranteed freedom of speech. But even with that kind of freedom of speech, Trump can still create a monopoly for Trump brand. Used to be as a candidate, Trump. But once he's elected as president, you think you have White House press secretary, you have communication office, all serve for your news media, not anymore need your personal tweet. No, he still use that as a control. How to use that to play against the media, mainstream media, continue fighting this media war. That's very important to analyze later we will see why he would do it. And just as a comparison, the study I did is comparison Russian media system. We can see the claim, so we say this is freedom of speech, it's all independent news agent. But recent Times magazine, or you can go to any of the index research about the news censorship, you will see those media were controlled by Russian state-owned enterprises. The government did not directly invest in the media, but through the state-owned companies control the media, own the share. You can see it's very much different two systems, Russia and US. How about China? China openly speak, including Mr. Xi, saying the party has a purpose. The media should serve the party. So they didn't hide anything. State-owned media, CCTV, but now any news agent, mainstream news agent, is funded and operated by the state. They don't have to hide it, it's open. It's service for the government purpose of state stability, serve for the party's purpose of unifying the country. So instead of Russia to hide, say, we are freedom speech, but actually it's state. So there's three types of different media systems. According to the soft power or hard power, you can analyze whether Trump can have a Trump brand, you will have a Putin brand or Xi brand. That's an interesting subject, anyone interested in further study. So we talk about Trump continue to use the tweet after his White House. So we'll finish about at least half hour more.
Yeah.
Okay. It has 90 slides. I'll go quick. Anyway, so talking about the soft power, leadership power, we have a famous saying from the Democrat camp. This is due also studying this time the U.S. election. Right after the National Convention, Tim Kaine and Hillary write a book published in September 2016, just within that time. Two of them as nominated candidates published a book together, Stronger Together, that's their book. And in that book, they have a famous quote saying, we both believe, even if you are 100% correct, if you want to get something done, you still need compromise with those disagreements. So typical Democrat ideas, right? I know 100% the government policy is right, I'm serving the people, but you still compromise with those who disagree with you. Not like the traditional Republican idea, famous quote from Republican mayor at that time, Bloomberg, to say, we are elected here to get things done. We're not here to debate. After election, we are here to do things, not debate anymore. So that's kind of a different about the camp. That's where I want to say. So a little story about this. Very interestingly, can elaborate more about Trump's media handle. For instance, Mike Bloomberg, people consider he will come out as a candidate independent, competing with Trump. He probably has 50 times more wealth than Trump. Trump even say, I'm rich, all this, but according to the Wall Street friend, they say Trump is not rich. This guy has much more money. And he take $1 as salary, annual pay for the position as a New York mayor. He did a lot of changes. Biggest change impact is turning Times Square into a pedestrian only, no driving through. You know, any democracy, if you want to do that kind of thing, you probably have 50% for it, 50% of the citizens against it. How can you get through? No votes, just as we are here to get things done. Actually, those people against it later funded it. Actually, most of the local store owners, they funded it. That change makes their business booming because people all go through have more exposure. So he also has his success in New York City safety and about the public service road, many structures, all with his policy. However, one instance almost to get his mayor done, which is he tried to regulate the large restaurant ban cannot serve sugar drink with large cups. That gets a lot of social bomb. People say you can regulate government service, public facility. You cannot regulate dinner table. My table, my menu is not something government should watch. He actually have two things for New Yorkers. One is security, one is health. It's good thing, but that last proposal almost getting kind of derailed. You admit that's a mistake. But use the same example. Think how Trump would play this video. It won't be surprised. Use the same tactic. If he were the mayor, he would make big publicity, saying, point at a certain big fat image, say, look at him or her. Is that what he wants? Raise attention by negative impact, and people all will say, Trump, you are really politically incorrect to do that kind of promotion. But behind that is acting like his election fighting to make a strong attention, not only city, maybe nationwide, about every person who look at the media will say, okay, this is subject relate to our personal. And Trump made a really stupid remark about this. He's killing his own political life. He won't get re-elected. But he has way to manipulate the process. That's why, back to his first saying, all news is good news. He knows how to play the war with his art of media. That's just a short story. Actually, for people who know soft power, hard power, there's several books published by Joseph Nye. But this power game is similar, like what we talk about, the art of media war. This power game is a fiction. Joseph Nye personally gave me a copy of this as a gift. But inside is very interesting reading about his kind of an experience. He worked in the State Department, worked with the National Security Council. And this kind of a novel story fiction give you a lot of the power structure in Washington, D.C. And this, I would recommend that anybody want to know more about how the State Department, the Pentagon, and the White House, how they work in the real life. With some more insight with them and work in the different positions in the government. So I would reference where in that book he has a famous quote about say what you see depends on where you stand depends on where you sit. It's kind of interesting to see the changes from Trump's election period, how he tweeted, and to his White House tweet, there's some difference already. For instance, about the job rating, I think in March, the report about the February job rating is a very positive result. So, interested by joke is talking about the job report used to be cooked. It's not real, and now it's more real. It kind of changes, and everything is laughing. Actually, the same agent, nothing changed. They are still doing the report. So, into the government political market, this biggest debate is still going on. It's about the repeal of Obamacare. We won't have time to go into it. How to use his tweet to influence the main media into this debate. And when you go to the office, of course, there's several incidents already. Michael Flint was forced to resign, actually asked to resign. Continually, March 2nd, there's another bombshell come out about Jeff Sessions. It's like Trump's left and right shoulder were cut, one already. The other is almost get cut. For 2 days, March 2nd and 3rd, it's the media, all the national media, local media, everybody is talking about this Sessions meeting with Russian ambassador this new president's is in trouble again after the flame. At this time, as the president, he threw out another bombshell, which is part of his media strategy. Very clear. In one day, March 4th, starting 6:26 in the early morning, he tweeted a bombshell without any pre-warning, saying he was wiretapped by Obama. That's a bombshell. Immediately gets the whole country's media attention away from Sessions to his tweet. Everybody is asking one question: do you have any evidence? As a president, you must know what you're talking about. Guess what Trump did? I mean, Obama was furious, but Trump was asked several times in front of the camera or through different vehicles, ask him, do you have any evidence? What's the answer? For the first time, that's good noise. Trump kept silence. That's CNN challenged him. Our president has a responsibility, has a duty to reply to the public inquiry. Give us the answer for where's the evidence. CNN said, for the first time, our president kept silent. That's not Trump's style. If he really tweet randomly, he really do what normal people think, that's he would do. But behind this, there's this guy. Steve Bannon is a senior advisor. Almost all Trump's campaign strategy, now White House strategy, is working with this man. That's why he's so important to Trump. And mainstream media call him the second most powerful man in the White House. Should be who? Should be vice president, maybe some other, according to the rank, maybe the Speaker of the House, maybe number 3. Not this man. How would he advise Trump to tweet? So from these all study kind, it's not random. If Trump is that kind of a short-skinned person, he would not keep silence about this bombshell just threw out, no answer. I don't know if you agree or not. At least the election proved he's right. His media war he won. And I kept on being, whenever I talk about this subject, you ask, what do you predict? Do you think Trump will survive? I say, it's like any gambler in Wall Street stock, whether it will go up or go down. But generally speaking, according to his election practice, everything has a plan. It's not random, including this Russian probe. I'm sure he has a plan. It won't be just because of the situation. For instance, Jeff Sessions, even Obama's State Department arranged his meeting for the ambassador Russian meeting. Some of the meeting is arranged through the previous administration. So there's always a way out how Trump get away with his tax return probe or inquiry, get away with the women situation. For once, his women remark was explosive. There must be half dozen people come out, claim physical offense, but it's gone. So whether this story for purpose released for the media war to get attention, or whether it's just his random tweet, I think more likely the front. That's how he can be success. Only the history lab, only this guy and Trump himself can answer this question. Bannon. Okay, for international parts, I guess it's our timing situation. We'll go quick about this. He tweets almost 2,500 times about America, the word related to America. Most time when he talks about America, it's American interests, deal with international foreign affairs. most use America as a comparison with the non-American interests, 400 sometimes about U.S. Interestingly, 411 times about China. Why so much China? Like I said, it's not random. It's not because you at one time we were together like your time. Trump, do you know where my time made in China? It's a joke. Personally, he's very nice, gentle. Only when I see him fight furiously, you think he's crazy person. Okay. From his family, see those boys, girls, children, so well brought up. You can see he does have the soft side. But on the China purpose, he's trying to make a message, job, economic growth, to his campaign. And then he tweets so many times about the Brexit and also Mexico, the war, Russia. Somehow interesting, about 40 times about enemy. We'll see how we deal with this international approach. Right now, he's saying, I only want to make America first. That's his slogan. So according to Joseph Nye, saying is for the Iraq war, U.S. won, but at the cost of what? U.S. suffered. Because, I mean, we can all do this case study, I think there's many of the historical data. So just as the example, the war from the White House is being well written about historical instance, how including the war within, such as the State Department, Pentagon, and the White House. That's why I say recommend the Joseph Nye fiction. It looks like real. And the media war in the international affair area, how he applied this media war, continue cross-border. This is one subject Jeff was debating. Unfortunately, there's one instance when Jeff tried to learn the same tactic to fight against his own team, Rubio. Jeff Bush made a big mistake when he attacked Marco Rubio. Anyway, so far, there's mixed message from the international community after Trump's presidency. And what this will lead the world to, people are watching. This is a whole study about the structure of the U.S. public diplomacy organization chart and trade war against China. I don't know if you notice, the White House press secretary, Spicer, announced this news recently before the soon visit of Chinese President Xi in the U.S. This announcement probably is the largest, he says it's the largest combined criminal and civil penalty on any foreign countries. This Zhongxin Chinese telecommunication company got $1.9 billion US penalty. And that's kind of interesting to see how the war will lead, trade war. And we all know this figure quite well for a while, but he's not forgotten. He still have his voice, either in or outside Russia. Recently, he has a short paper published in Time magazine about how many nuclear war had, or weapons U.S. had, how many Russia had, and it all looks like the world is prepared for war. That's very strong comment at the time towards the new administration presidency in the U.S. So it's 7,000 compared with 6,800 nuclear weapons. That's Gorbachev's data. I don't know whether it's real, but Trump tweeted 139 times about Russian relations and its words, mostly about the international relations and the security. So there's books come out why Trump would win. Other comparison. There's almost every book, every talk is related to one factor, is a media war. Political marketing campaign is through all kinds of media. And Trump played so well with traditional media because he's top expert already. He played with like a couple of people. But also, he is so shrewd now with the social media, the new media. That's why the media war with advisors, playing everything put together, is winning this war. As a conclusion, that's back to the voting behavior subject. How to influence the voting, not only for election, but for public referendum, for international affairs, all relate to the public opinion voting. So that's why it's worthwhile further study this art of a media war. And I would say, interestingly, here we have Confucius Institute. The three characters are very simple to learn in Chinese. The first one, Ren, is people. It's originally just like a joint with two legs. Started with have a one head. The character actually originally started with one head as part of the word, Ren, people. And from business or political exchange, you always start with the voter or consumer. If you want to grow your business, you want to get elected, promote yourself, you want to create big impact. That's how one more stroke based on Ren. Da is from good to grow great. Then you put another stroke. Tian is heaven. We talk about Taoism, Ren Tian He Yi, harmony between among the people and harmony between the man and the nature. That's the philosophy. Confucius also sacrificed oneself to improve, promote virtue. That's kind of my speech stop here. And just for fun, probably the number one contribution, the First Lady of U.S. now, is she opened up the White House tour again. That make her news image change from the what do you call it, plagiarism on the First Lady's speech during the Republican National Campaign. So my last word is say, 人大天, how to use the Sun Tzu 说法, the art of media war, promote anything, including people, promote yourself, whether you're finding a job, promote other students, or promote your group interests, promote your university service, or promote your political ideas to change the Tian, change the law. Tian means heaven, but in China also refers to the governing laws to change the sky. Use this war of media tactics. Then I'm living in the US and welcome you continue to talk about this debate, and maybe one day we can go here together. I'll see you in the White House. Thank you.